And you are welcome to the last match on the final day of the 2017 Rugby World Cup here in Belfast, Northern Ireland. We've had another fantastic day of action across the afternoon and evening, and all that remains now is to determine our World Cup champions for 2017. Well, it's been a super tournament over the past 3 weeks or so, from the pool stages in UCT Dublin to the playoff rounds here in Belfast, where the scenery and the hospitality has been every bit of what you would expect from the island of Ireland and the land of Céad Míle Fáilte, or 100,000 welcomes to non-Gaelic speakers. Well, we kicked off match day 5 earlier this afternoon with wins for Japan against Hong Kong in the 12th, 11th place playoff. Italy, as you can see, getting the better of Spain to determine 9th in the standings overall. Well, then Wales grabbed 7th spot from underneath the noses of Ireland, really, and a place at the next World Cup in 2021. More importantly, Canada, as you can see, finished in 5th place after beating Australia 43 points to 12. Well, our bronze medal matchup, our bronze final, was won by France in a thrilling game, 31-23, as you might have seen, against the surprise package of the tournament so far in USA, which leads us very nicely towards the final. The two best teams in the world, it's New Zealand against England. So here we go then. It is England against New Zealand in the World Cup final in 2017. A beautiful night for a game of rugby. The two best teams in this tournament, undoubtedly. We are expecting an absolute war. The Heineken coin toss then, and the referee from Ireland, Joy Neville. Super occasion for her as well. The two captains, Fama Seeley and Hunter for England.
Okay.
So England win the coin toss.
Okay, you're going to kick off, yeah. So.
And Sarah Hunter opting to kick off,
so you're going to play
and perhaps try and put New Zealand under pressure. Let's see if that materialises. The last handshake, and we're almost set to go. Simon Middleton has resisted the urge to change his England starting team, with the entire pack coming through unscathed from that tough win against France. Captain Sarah Hunter, as you've just seen, leading the charge at number 8. The pack is going to be crucial for England. The only change, though, comes in the back line, where Emily Scarrett has to move to full back in the absence of the injured Danielle Waterman. She failed the HIA test. Megan Jones goes in to start at outside centre. Well, it's been a really settled New Zealand 15 at this stage. This is the third game in a row where Glenmore has been able to pick the same starting team. The back row of McMenamin, Goss and Savage will have a monster battle on their hands tonight. The backline, though, is where New Zealand could do the most damage. Portia Woodman, Renee Wycliffe and Salika Winiata are the quickest back three in this tournament. So a quick look at the replacements bench then. New Zealand coach Moore opting for a 5-3 split on the backs and forwards. So that means Christina Sue comes onto the bench in place of Linda Itunu. Well, it does not get any bigger than this, the World Cup final. That's what they're playing for. It's 1 and 2 in the world rankings. It's New Zealand against England. Familiar foes, bitter enemies on the rugby pitch. And this has all the makings of a superb World Cup final. The atmosphere has been building steadily all day. We have a fantastic crowd in this 18,000 capacity stadium at Kingspan to welcome the teams out, and they are soaking in every second of the crowd's reaction. There's bound to be nerves, there's bound to be butterflies in the pit of the stomach, but when kickoff gets underway, all that goes out the window, and it's 80 minutes to decide the best team in the world for 2017. So we're almost set to go. We will pause, of course, for the national anthems, and we'll start with England and God Save the Queen.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you please be upstanding for the national anthem of England?
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen.
Wow. Well, there's no real look for how you handle the national anthem in a World Cup. We've got the full range of emotion. We're going to pause for a moment's silence for the legend that is All Blacks, Colin Meads.
All Black and World Rugby Hall of Fame inductee who passed away last week. The thoughts of the rugby community are with Sir Colin's family and New Zealand Rugby.
Moment's silence, impeccably observed. Mel Robinson beside me. Mel, a legend in your country, Colin Meads.
Oh, look, he played for New Zealand from 1957 to 71. 133 All Black matches. Outstanding. The original prototype for today's modern passing, catching, mobile forward, but most importantly, an absolute gentleman off the field. I'll miss him, and so will the entire New Zealand rugby community.
Which leads us perfectly into the New Zealand haka. England line up. Fa'amausili, the captain, out in front. And this is going to be special. A World Cup final. Challenge laid down by New Zealand. Challenge accepted by England. We are seconds away from kick-off. Sue Day beside me. Sue, who do we watch out for tonight?
Well, in the England forwards, it's the youngsters in the England pack who've really brought some ball-carrying ability. Cockayne, Byrne, Matthews, Marley, Packer, they'll want to get over the gain line, and then behind the pack, McLean has been pulling the strings, making sure England play in the right part of the pitch. Scarrett has been outstanding, but for me, Burford at 12 has been the glue holding the England team together.
And New Zealand, Mel.
Well, they also have ball-running forwards with explosive impact. The best is their captain, the most capped Kiwi woman ever, and supplementing her is Sarah Goss, whose work rate is outstanding. In the backs, you could talk about any of them. So dangerous are the combinations. But Kelly Brazier's the key to whether the ball gets out to the most prolific scorer on the planet, Portia Woodman. Watch and enjoy, folks. She is a once-in-a-generation player.
So the bench in both teams then, and the impact that they will make. It's not bench anymore, it's not replacements, it's finishers. That's the way the game has gone. and when the coaches decide to use them will be absolutely crucial in determining how this one goes. We do have Irish involvement tonight. It comes in the form of Joy Neville, former international herself, and what a moment for her to referee her first World Cup final. A former player, she knows the game inside out, and hopefully we get a final to match what is a spectacular occasion here. 2002, Mel Robinson and Sue Day went head-to-head in the World Cup final. Now, I'm pleased to say they're on commentary duty alongside me tonight, and you're very welcome to the Kingspan Stadium in Ulster for the World Cup final, and what a start. Natua straight away getting hands on the ball, and the battle in the back row is going to be crucial as Aroha Savage sets it up nicely. Kicking behind for Nafatali, and that's a beautifully judged kick, Mel.
New Zealand have big explosive forwards, like I said. England have to contain them. A few nerves there perhaps and not making that tackle on Natua. Here it is here, the run. Just went straight through the arms there of the open side packer from England. It was a good kick too from Sabretsky Nafatali, but England have the best line out.
Well, you flash back to the semi-finals and Abby Scott stole an awful lot of ball against the French. It was a key area for why England managed to get past France. And you expect the line out today to go just as well, if not better. Early maul, and at the back with Cocaine as England try and set their dominance up front. This is going to be a key battle. The 8 up front for England against the 8 for New Zealand, and that's a decent early maul as Hunter tries to sweep up, but England get the penalty, dragged down illegally, and first blow to England.
Yeah, no surprise to see England go to the safe hands of Tamara Taylor in her 4th World Cup to secure the ball under a little bit of pressure early on, and no surprise to see Katie McLean go to kick for a bit of territory, get England back into the right part of the pitch.
And what was great about this maul too was that England had moved the ball away from the original person to take it in there. It was like a shift drive really, and New Zealand didn't regather the forwards well enough behind it. It is a strength of England.
Do you expect New Zealand to play away from this English pack? We know how strong they are, or will they take them on?
No, they'll take them on, no doubt about it.
Cocaine, Litchfield hooker, throws, and it's Abby Scott from Darlington who gets up well, and then look at this, Sarah Byrne, one of the players, the standout player of that semi-final. A try to her name, takes a barraging run, and 2 to bring it down as McLean untidy pass to her, and did well just to keep her composure and settle up. Marley Packer, 51st cap today, the Bristol back row forward. Has been ensconced in the 15s camp really over the last couple of years, has played 7s, but 15s is where she shines. Hunt goes down that blind side, little grubber kick through. Back goes Winiata, awkward looking bounce, awkward one, what a kick that was.
Brilliant kick from Katie McLean. This is what we've seen from her all tournament, pinning the opposition back. She had no angle there at all, but brilliantly timed, brilliantly placed. Winiata with no chance.
I love the body language of Katie McLean. She looks very, very relaxed out there.
She did, as she walked out, didn't she? She's a veteran now of World Cup. She was out there in 2006 as a non-playing reserve, and she's been a starting 10 ever since.
New Zealand lineup doesn't go to plan, advantage being played. Knock on, chance for Hunt to spin this one. Crash up the middle, goes Matthews, 5 metres short, and they're still playing advantage for the knock on. Scots swallowed up in the tackle. England showing their hand early here in this World Cup final, and there's support from the rest of the pack. It's going to be pick and go.
Advantage is over.
Straight into the tackle. Advantage just over, says Joy Neville. England go again, testing out that fringe defence. Cocaine hits the ground, and New Zealand have to roll away. Hunt has runners outside. Packer drops the shoulder, struggling to get to ground here. Eventually she does. Tackle was good from Sabretsky Nafatali. Hunt wants the ball quicker. And Joy Neville says it's okay. The defence is legal by New Zealand. And there's the feed. Hunter, the captain, makes about a metre. Pressure on New Zealand's line. Byrne calling for it. Byrne for England. Support from Packer. Woodman puts her down. Hunt surveys options left and right. Goes right. Chance again for England. This time Natua makes the big hit. McLean going to go wide this time. Burford slipped on by Scarrett. Was that forward? Referee's hand stays down. It's going to go into touch. New Zealand hold out.
Yeah, it was very, very good defence from New Zealand. I was surprised to see England move the ball wide there. They've been in this tournament relatively tight when they get to these areas and just making inch by inch, and then the New Zealand defence just coming up too fast for England to be able to get it out there.
Yeah, interesting. They use that tactic. We haven't seen that the entire tournament, but they do have Lydia Thompson out there who had a great game against New Zealand in June, so it's great to see them have variety in their play and look to go wide too.
June, the last time they met in Rotorua, and England coming out on top there. Can they carry that psychological advantage into this game? Played 24 times. New Zealand leaded those 16-7 with one draw.
Time on.
Farmer Seeley on her 51st cap goes to the front. Decent take by Blackwell. And ball there for Coxage. Leaves the forwards have a go. And that's not a bad effort, is it? Back with the hooker and captain. Hunt told to roll away. Coxage now, first receiver. New Zealand trying to just get some territorial advantage away from the 22-metre line. Tuna with a big carry there. And then the kick from Nafatali. Crossfield kick. Who's underneath it? Oh, brilliant from Scarrett. Rising highest are both Portia Woodman and Emily Scarrett, who says she's not a full-back. Superb take. Carry by Taylor. A little bit of support from Matthews on her shoulder. And Hunt to McLean. 9-10 access for England, so important to everything they do. Cocaine shoved backwards. A really good hit there by Sarah Goss on the open side flanker. McLean again shipping it out.
Tucked into it.
So Megan Jones, just 20 years of age, born in Wales, of course, England international, and Packer. Penalty, New Zealand.
Yeah, Renee Whitcliffe over the ball there on Packer, who took it in.
Isolated.
She was standing up, holding her weight. She had all rights to it. Excellent work by the little winger. There she is, number 11. Reached over, had her hands on it. Well done.
What about this from Scarrett?
Yeah, she is an excellent fullback. She doesn't normally play there for England because normally Danielle Waterman's there, but we've seen in 15s and in 7s she has excellent aerial skills, and she showed us again there.
White on the line. White
top point scorer in the 2014 World Cup. 46 points so far.
Thank you.
In Ireland in 2017. Emily Scarrett, one of the best in the world, taken well by Charmaine Smith. New Zealand this time trying to get the ball going. Savage has it at the back, trying to spin round to that left-hand side and test England out just over the halfway line. It's gone a bit messy now and it's gone to ground. Coxage wants to get it out there. Haven't seen New Zealand's backline in full flight yet, but here's Portia Woodman and she's unmarked. Portia Woodman, if this sits up for her, it does sit up. It's Winiata with the Atta. Winiata for New Zealand, going for the corner. Salika Winiata scores the first try in the Rugby World Cup final.
This is a complete change-up from what New Zealand have been putting out there on the pitch as well. They're trying to catch each other unawares, but that time it was New Zealand who came up trumps. Woodman looked like she was under this beautiful kick from Sobrecki Nafatali, but in the end it bounced fortuitously for this very quick fullback who came through and beat the cover defence over for a very good try with hardly any ball.
It's a brilliant kick, wasn't it? As you say, it's a lucky bounce, but if you don't try it, they don't go your way. Winiata cleared it up brilliantly. Emily Scarrett had no chance, and then no one is going to catch Winiata from there. What a start from New Zealand. No ball whatsoever, and 5 points on the board.
Well, I was in Donnybrook in Dublin a few months ago when New Zealand came over on a tour. They played Canada in a small stadium in the centre of Dublin, and I tell you, Salika Winiata was the standout performer of the match. It looks like there's an injury to, is it Scarrett who's down?
Yeah, what might be even more worrying for England at the moment is Emily Scarrett is getting treatment down here on the sideline. They're already at their second fullback and they don't have specialist fullback cover on the bench.
Conversion attempt from Coxage, 20 so far. This is looking for 21. Flags stay down. Stays on 20. Kendra Cobb said, let's have a look at this again.
1 point to make about Salika Winiata. I found out today her GPS shows she covers more distance than any other player in the Black Ferns, around about 7.2 kilometres per game, and she does it at that pace. Crazy.
She works so hard, doesn't she? You say she's in the right place at the right time, but that's because she works so hard to be in the right place at the right time, and she knows where that is.
Today, This would be a hammer blow to England's chances if Emily Scarrett goes off.
It's absolutely huge. They have on the bench Amber Reid, who is a brilliant all-round rugby player, who has played 15, but she will not have run much at 15 because it's Danielle Waterman, first of all, who played every minute pretty much of every game prior to that. Now, Emily Scarrett, they will be absolutely desperate to keep her on the pitch.
I think she'd have to lose both of those legs before she went off voluntarily.
Well, she's putting some weight on it, which is good to see. There's the jump. I think if there's any chance Emily Scarrett is fit to stay on, she will stay on, as Mel just said. Superb sevens player, equally effective in 15s, and with Danielle Waterman out, as Sue said, you take the gamble and you don't have a specialist full back to cover, but Scarrett
If you want to strap, you can go up the
has
side.
fitted in
Okay.
really nicely so far. There is the England coach, Simon Middleton. She is going off for some more treatment. And it looks like she's going to get some strapping on her ankle.
But this is a critical moment for England.
She's just
Scarrett
getting
off the
strapped.
pitch, they have to reorganise. You've already got a very threatening back three playing against you. Now Lydia Thompson and Kay Wilson have to cover that position.
Katie McLean goes long. Coxage underneath the high ball. Interesting, the first time New Zealand really showed their hand out wide, they come up with a try. And they've been in full flight. 42, that's 43 on the list in the World Cup in terms of tries scored for New Zealand. 29 so far for England as Coxage goes to the left-hand side to Brazier. Chance on the outside here for Waka. Tries that long fend. Gets a couple of metres box kick from Coxage. Back in the pocket is Natasha Hunt. Kicks it with the outside of the boot, can't go straight out. This looks like it's going to be another mistake and a chance for New Zealand with the line out.
I think New Zealand won the tactical and execution display just in those small moments there, particularly with the way that the forwards set the ball up and they chose the right moment to kick.
Once, make
needed
sure they're back in the back.
Kick from England to not go out on the full dribble over, it would have helped them
Back
immensely.
in, please.
Emily Scarrett is back on the pitch and she is on her feet, which is good to see. So play continues. England back to 15. Ball off the top for Coxage to use. The ball in behind for Brazier. Grubber kick through again. It's meant for Woodman. It's going to test out Scarrett's ankle and it passes the test just about. Tackled by Woodman, but crucially she managed to claim the ball. Hunt with the feed. Look at that for the hit from Charmaine Smith.
Back 5.
I think her 16th cap today. Matthews slips the pass away to Byrne, who's put back, and I tell you, that is not an easy thing to do. McLean flirting with the touchline this one, but there to take it is Wycliffe. Tackle by Thompson. Slow coming back, Thompson on her feet and wins the penalty.
The battle of the two wings at the moment. Wycliffe just now in the contact area. Thompson this time, both so good in contact out wide.
Yeah, I think Wycliffe probably should have come infield to where her support was. She was a little isolated. She tried to buy them time by getting back up and grabbing the ball, but Thompson, she was too good in that situation. Here it is here. Had players on her inside, went for the out instead. Thompson's too good for that. Yeah, 100%.
It's that split-second decision,
Captain,
isn't it, in an
I
international
spoke in
rugby
about
game
coming in, please, come
of
in.
this quality, just going towards the touchline rather than away from it is what coughs up possession.
If you want to know how clinical New Zealand are, they've had just 35% of possession, yet they lead by 1 try and 5 points to nil. England know they cannot afford to give space, particularly to that back three.
Release!
And it's back with England. McLean under all sorts of pressure, swallowed up in the tackle. Really good hit by McMenamin. Still there for Hunt. Little slip off the tackle and had to be made. It was from Waka. Hunt once more. Hunter out in front, but really good hands that time from Cornborough. The Harlequins loose head. Had to run onto that ball. Cocaine as far as Abby Scott.
Release, score lost!
England happy to just keep ball in hand at the moment, wait for the gaps to appear. Will they appear? That's the question. Burford out to Scarrett. Now chance for Scarrett to stretch those legs. Scarrett in behind. Brazier hangs on for dear life. Fingertip tackle on the back of the jersey by Kelly Brazier. Missed ball in the midfield. Oh, big thumping hit. There was no wrap there, was there? Referee says play on. Natua making her physical presence felt. There for Scott once more. Had 3 outside her. Ups to go alone. And up the middle towards the 22-metre line. Wilson
Okay,
calling for it, so
advantage,
too
centre.
Cockayne. Advantage now being played
One black. Dangerous tackle.
for
Clean
that tackle
advantage.
against Natua. I got the feeling that she didn't wrap the arms when I first saw it. McLean, crossfield kick, it's a shot to nothing here. Why not? Scarrett underneath it. Can she get there first? Emily Scarrett tackled
Still
in the
advantage.
air. Wycliffe and still playing
Knock on
advantage.
there.
We'll go back to the
tackle
penalty.
over here in the middle. One.
Breathless stuff, isn't it? Two teams at the top of their game. Emily Scarrett it was who made the break to get England into this part of the pitch, and then this is the tackle. There's definitely no arms in that one, Mel Robinson.
Well, she's pretty much made up of 100% muscle and ligament, that one. Natua. So it would be running into a brick wall, basically. So she probably didn't get time to wrap those arms, right? That's what I'm saying anyway.
When in doubt, make yourself as big as possible and plant your feet. Tuka Natua, that's exactly what she did. Just a penalty, but it's straight in front of the post, and Emily Scarrett, who has 46 points already so far and has been very accurate with the boot, one of just two players to kick 2 penalties in the World Cup, is going to have an opportunity for a third.
What a start to the game for Emily Scarrett. She's been involved in everything, hasn't she? New Zealand trying to test England with the kicking game, which has brought her right into it. Now she has to slot some points for England.
Lucky that strapping is not on her right foot, but this one, you'd bank on her getting 3 points. Familiar kicking style and a familiar result. Emily Scarrett gets 3 points on the board, the gap just 2.
No attempt to wrap the arms. Number one, okay?
Yeah, she has been excellent. I have to say her positional play so far incredible. The aerial ability that you spoke about before, Sue Day, and then the injection in the back line. I don't think New Zealand was expecting her to be like this. She is a world-class athlete.
It's the 4th time these sides have met in a World Cup final. New Zealand won the previous 3, as I mentioned, 2002, 2006 and 2010. In fact, they've never lost a World Cup final. 5 for 5 so far. England's return is a little bit worse than 1 in 3. Penalty,
The 1
England.
metre, you have to stay.
England's record is worse than 1 in 3
metre.
because they've lost them all to New Zealand. Such an amazing record in World Cups for New Zealand, isn't it?
Certainly is. But you know, England and New Zealand have been the 2 best teams for quite some time now, but it's England with a more professional outfit, so you've got to wait for the 80 minutes to see what happens with all the full-time contracts.
You can't go within the 1 metre of the
Being able to
square
get
half.
that fitness just
You have to
so
stay- you have to
fantastic.
stay
England
away
and
from
New
it.
Zealand here just giving away far too many penalties. It's up 4.
Discipline. Well, only Italy have conceded fewer penalties than England. New Zealand at the moment just need to be careful. 4 given away, as Mel mentioned already. England with just 1. Ball off the top. And a chance for McLean to go wide. And this occasion, Thompson juggles with it and hangs on. McLean picks it off the base. Good strength for the fly half and taking on the big figure of Eloise Blackwell. New Zealand second row. Here's Abby Scott. Pass to Packer. Still pumping the legs
Last 2.
and making some clean ground towards New Zealand 10-metre line. Hunter
Blitz defence.
hit well by Sarah Goss.
Last.
McLean thought about the flat pass, but New Zealand are up so quickly in the midfield there. They're trying to snuff out England going wide. When they do decide to go out the back line on that occasion, they give away the penalty and it's against the captain.
Yeah, Thomasilli's saying it is right, I couldn't roll away, but unfortunately it doesn't matter if England haven't got the chance to play the ball, if they can't get to it, penalty it is. Some of the hits going in the midfield.
They're using an outside-in defensive system. They've been doing that a lot, New Zealand. Not all the time, but what that does is it shuts that outside option right down.
2.
And when it's tight in like that, you can really gamble and sprint up fast, can't you? And that's what New Zealand are doing to stop Katie McLean having time to even play the ball.
Line out for England. Amy Cockayne right on the 22-metre line. Full complement of forwards in the set piece here. Back line looking menacing as Kay Wilson comes in to stand behind McLean. 4 tries on match day 1 for her against Spain. Can she get her hands on the ball here? It's a decent take, and then New Zealand don't commit. So England, accidental offside, truck and trailer, and I tell you what, they played that brilliantly, Mel.
That was absolutely masterminded. And I think if you had watched how England set their rolling mauls up a lot, then yes, that is a tactic you use. You just don't join this rolling maul. And then basically they say because they've put the ball back behind the players in front, they're shepherding it.
And part of the fascination in this contest is that both teams will have been watching each other, looking at the videos, working out where the weaknesses are, where the cracks are, what they can do to disrupt. And that's brilliant from New Zealand.
New Zealand have had no ball so far, 20% of possession.
Well, it's 17% territory as well, which is a real issue.
Bind. Set.
Let's see what they can manage from here. Zabritsky, now Fatali issuing instructions out wide. Looks like she's getting ready to take this one. Off the back they go, and Savage goes blind. Tackled by her opposite number, and then a steal. England have possession. Brilliant work by the England captain. There for a hunt. Matthews trying to go through 3 black jerseys. No room there. McLean, now they're going to go wide. Little step on the outside. Jones trying to get around Brazier. Not too many managed that. McLean, flat pass to Scott. Again, New Zealand come up and make thumping tackles to snuff out England's attack. Grubber kicks through from Scarron, beautifully judged. Awkward one, Coxridge is back there, has to get rid of it, left-footed kick. That's all she could do. It's not going to find touch. Still there, Scarron has Packer outside her, doesn't need her. And then loses the ball, picked up by Natua. Coxridge, kick over the top. Wycliffe is after it. McLean comes across and she's isolated and needs a bit of help here. What a handoff by Katie McLean, and then a jumping tackle into the ground. Joy Neville, no hands out, happy that she landed on her back and that it didn't go above the horizontal. It wasn't a tip tackle. Play on.
Back foot.
Ferocious hits going in. Ball in behind. Matthews trying to get through. We're going to go back and check.
Please. I'm after getting a TMO call. Okay, time off.
So Joy Neville, Simon McDowell wants to have a look at the tackle here, I presume.
I think this is going to be the one on Sarah Goss. TMO. But let's have a look if I'm right. So here she is, coming under.
Well, the strict rule is that the arms must go above the horizontal. Let's have a look here.
She just gets a little high when she drives over. I'd be really disappointed if this is a yellow card.
I think that's okay, isn't it? She never goes, the shoulders never go below the hips. Certainly there was no intention.
Okay, Simon, I see she lands on her arm, then to the side. Are we talking penalty only or yellow card? Have you any other angles you want to show me?
Joy, that's all the angles. The number 7 black has lifted the player through the horizontal and she's landed on her side.
Okay. For me, that's a yellow card, Simon, against black 7. Can you just get the mark?
Well, it's a big call. It is a big call, and you could argue the toss either way, I have to say there. Simon McDowell said it did go beyond the horizontal. That's his interpretation. Please. Joy Neville obviously agrees.
Captain.
And it's going to be a yellow card. Big call.
Very tight, wasn't it? You want to get your protractor out. It seemed about horizontal. To me, we're not referees up here in the commentary booth.
Look, the thing is, World Rugby is cleaning rugby up to make sure that it's, I guess there are less injuries in it. And so you can't argue against that. However, this decision may have an impact on a World Cup final, and that's what my issue is. I'd rather have the referee not be a part of what happens in the match.
Well, Sarah Goss was pretty disgusted with that decision. You could see on her face she did not believe she did anything wrong, let alone deserve the yellow card. But she's going to be off for 10 minutes, and it's a crucial 10 minutes here as England have a penalty possession and inside New Zealand's half.
Well, in June when they played a test match, their captain was sin-binned off in 10 minutes. England scored 2 tries. That was a decisive moment in that game. So let's see what happens here.
Let's have another look at this here.
Take a step, White, take a step, thank you.
It's very hard to make the case that that's a yellow card.
The decision's made now, isn't it? It looked horizontal. Sarah Goss is off. New Zealand are a world-class side. Now a big challenge for them. How do we organise to get through this 10 minutes?
Cocaine throws, goes to the back, and a decent take by Tamara Taylor, playing her 4th World Cup.
Release.
The England lock. Can they take advantage of the extra player for the next 9 minutes or so?
Use it.
Hunter.
Roll 4.
New Zealand and Eloise Blackwell told to roll away. She does so just in time. Hunt is directing troops on the blind side here. McLean, that was forward.
See, the speed of the Black Ferns defence there was unbelievable. Forced McLean into the mistake. I think it was Aroha Savage there who's on screen who got up. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Once again, outside in.
And you could see Katie McLean walking away from that, sort of chuntering offside, but she wasn't offside. What she did so well was go as soon as hands were on the ball, didn't she? And outside in, you're taking the risk of being stepped inside away, out of the equation.
New Zealand down to 7 in the pack, so bit of attention for Eloise Blackwell. But New Zealand have literally had 1 chance and returned 1 try.
Well, it's a hallmark of their play. However, against a team like England, it's not what you want to do in a final. They need to get their hands on the ball. They need to make sure that they're more accurate in terms of discipline. The odd line-out's been a little bit off. In the meantime, England with all this ball, they've only got 3 points to show for it.
And that's a critical point, isn't it? England have had a couple of opportunities you thought they should have taken, particularly early on when they were camped on the New Zealand line. And the longer that goes on, the more it plays on the mind of the team that hasn't scored.
New Zealand, I'm sure, keen to get this away from the pack and get the back line going. We've seen already glimpses of what they can do. Woodman, Winiata, Wycliffe.
Sabritsky Nafatali on the blind side there, the number 10. She has been with the forwards.
A little bit more. Make sure you get your head in, okay?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens if this gets into the arms of Portia Woodman. 22 tries in 15 test matches. Tops the stats for tries, points, clean breaks, defenders beaten, meters made, you name it, she leads the way.
It's a high-risk strategy, but New Zealand have 5 players out here. England have a winger back, the full-back back. If there's ever a chance to get outside the 13 channel, it's in this position on the pitch.
Standing very flat, though, Sue, aren't they?
Yeah. I doubt they'll do it, but you never know.
Fraser standing as first receiver as England put the pressure on and get the penalty. What a time to turn over the ball in the scrum.
You can see England celebrating because they know it is so important that they try to get on top of New Zealand in the pack. New Zealand have those dominant runners out wide, and for England to be able to have parity, they've got to try and dominate up front, stop the ball getting into the hands of Wycliffe and Woodman and Winiata.
And the most impressive thing about their scrum is that, you know, Sarah Byrne is just 19 and Amy Cocaine, what, 21 years old. The youth, unbelievable.
That's about 10 years younger than your prime is supposed to be in the front row, isn't it? They've got no right to be in the England front row at that age.
What do they say? 25 years of age, you start to develop your strength as a prop forward. Not for these England front rowers as they get ball off the top, and Packer uses her strength to get over the gain line. Ball there for Hunt. Wants another effort from the pack. New Zealand held England out once before. Can they do it again? Pick and go. Scott almost at the line. Hunt wants another effort. Chance for England, and Matthews! A pile of bodies.
Time off.
I think she's got that down.
The New Zealander, to my right, says she thinks they've got that down.
Time off, please.
Almost impossible to say, isn't it, until Joy Neville goes upstairs. England certainly was celebrating hard, weren't they?
Try or no try, please.
We'll review.
Let's have a look again. It's Matthews with Hunter on her shoulder. Where's that ball? Just there. Did she get it down?
Oh, there might be Smith's arm underneath. I think it's Smith is there. Right there, 2 New Zealand hands just under the ball.
I think that's held up, isn't it? That's held up. You can't see the ball touch the ground. Brilliant work in defence if that is held up.
Look at Kelly Brazier here. She gets in, her hand over the ball, and falls in just the right spot to make it impossible to tell.
If in doubt, try and get in the way of all the camera angles. Is that what you're
Joy.
saying?
Yes, Simon.
Ball's held up.
Okay.
We start with the scrum out, defence ball.
No try. Held up. Scrum.
5 metre scrum for England.
Wowee, another dramatic moment in this incredible
Intertwined
test.
England won't mind a scrummage at this point, will they, after the last one? You've got to think they're going to want to get a big shove on here.
Well, pressure is going to come on the front row. Natua, Bahamaseli, Itunu against Cornborough, Cocaine and Byrne. It's going to be a massive test for New Zealand.
There's so many options for England. And we can see Scarrett just coming on the left-hand side. So New Zealand's Winiata coming to match up.
Don't forget New Zealand still down to 14 and crucially missing Sarah Goss from the back row as this scrum prepares the set. There's going to be a big shove in that front row. You can see New Zealand's captain Bahamaseli steadying herself for what's to come. She knows what's coming. Question is, can they stop it? Initial shove by New Zealand. Now England steady themselves and forward they go. Controlled by Hunter, the captain. Still controlled by Hunter. This looks very good. It looks really good by England. Hunter picks off the base. It's a penalty try. The power from England, unstoppable.
Well, it was a tactical misread from New Zealand from a start. They thought they'd load their backs out on defence and keep Zabretsky Nafatali out there. And then Charmaine McMenamin just on that blind side. There she is, her shoulders are right off. They don't have the 8 in there, neither is Savage. They needed to tighten up, put the numbers in. They've got to expect that England will pull this off.
Agree with that 100%. If you watch this England team play, you know the first thing they're going to try and do with a scrum that close to the line, even with 8 on 8, is go for the 8-woman shove and not having his shoulders in the back row, not even going a full 8. There's no way England were going to play that wide in that scrummage.
You know, just New Zealand just don't play enough test matches against Northern Hemisphere teams. They're not used to that kind of play, but they should have expected it.
England hit the front for the first time in the game. New Zealand have had very little ball. It's been all England so far, and they've got another 5 minutes.
Release, Black.
With an extra player advantage. The ball's gone loose. Coxage now trying to break.
Advantage is over.
Offload to Wycliffe.
Release, White.
And New Zealand get up to the England 22. A rare visit outside of their own half. Nice hands from Natua.
Through the middle.
Coxage. Zabretsky Nafatali trying to go through on her own. Eventually tackled and brought down. And New Zealand looking for options. Another pick and go. This time Smith. Blackwell. England trying to get hands on the ball. Now told to leave it. It went off their feet. But they do just enough to slow it down. Chance to go wide here. Brazier, 2 outsider. Quick feet from Kelly Brazier. And then the offload as well. Waka. Waka still going. Powerhouse at outside centre. Chopped down by Cornborough. Eventually, Coxedge goes left and the pass doesn't go to plan. And England get a chance to counter.
Release, forward.
Hunt kicks it clear. Winiata comes across and all she can do is watch it go into touch.
An excellent clearance kick from Hunt. What's really interesting for me watching the England defence near their line, having watched New Zealand doing that blitz defence out to win, cutting out the space. England really aren't, and it's leaving a huge amount of space out wide where Portia Woodman's lurking. That time Kelly Brazier went in back to the breakdown, but there was a lot of space out wide, and England are not cutting that down.
Yeah, here's the mistake there from Savage.
Faster than that,
the angle she was hitting the ball was lovely.
No, just before that, okay?
But I think she might have looked up and seen the white jerseys there. And once again, that fabulous territory kicking game of England gained some precious metres.
Time on.
New Zealand just gathering in a huddle, instructions to come from the line out. The captain, Fawasili,
Sorry, excuse me, 4 over here, so
talking to her pack. Still down to 14 players,
Captain,
and will be
your
for the
turn.
next 3 minutes or so. We've played 27 minutes. England by 5.
Absolutely.
Attention there to Eloise
Perfect.
Blackwell on the sideline. This is the second time she's needed medical treatment, Mel, and if she goes off, Becky Wood could come in. Looks like blood on the hand.
Look, she is the one player in that engine that has been a consistent for the last 5 or 6 seasons. She's fantastic. Wood coming on is a brand new athlete. She hasn't been playing rugby for very
Time
long,
on. Okay, Black.
but she's mobile and she's got skills.
Rebecca Wood comes in for her 7th cap. Blackwell going off to try and get the hand sorted. And New Zealand will have the throw in. Decent take, ball at the top from Charmaine Smith. Well, it should have been. It went on the second attempt, and Coxon is under all sorts of pressure now from Marley Packer, who's like a sniper over that ball. Gives away the penalty.
White leave. Straight over your feet. Stay up.
Who, me? Yes, you.
All good back row players. She was just too desperate to get her hands on the ball, wasn't she?
A lot of panic there at that setup. Smith probably should just have waited, kept it in. Yeah, Fabasili wasn't ready for it, and then it all got bad for New Zealand and pack her up in the face.
White, take a step, please. Take a step.
Marley Packer plays on the edge. She is a real menace for any opposition, as she's proved in this World Cup, but she's proved over the last few years. This time it does go to Smith, and ball off the top is a good one. Crossfield kick again. Wycliffe off her wing, but the ball bounces frustratingly into touch.
As we said on the last one, sometimes the bounce goes your way and sometimes it doesn't. That time, possession just gifted back to England, but the previous time was a try, so, you know, you can't blame them for trying.
Yeah, they're just seeing there's a little bit of a hole behind the left-hand winger and the fullback, a little bit of space. That's what they're angling for.
Well, we've played half an hour, and the best player in the tournament so far, Portia Woburn, has barely touched the ball. That'll tell you how this game has gone as we approach the last minute of the sin bin. And Sarah Goss, I'm sure, itching to get back on the pitch. There for Natasha Hunt. Back in the pocket is McLean. It'll switch in the midfield. That's a pretty good run as well from Matthews. Look at that, but it blindsides flanker. Strength and speed and acceleration off the mark to burst through the defence. McLean once more. Now she uses the boot. Ball in behind, and Winiata can't take it at the first attempt. Second is no problem. Swings the boot at it and finds the safety of touch. We should have Sarah Goss entering the fray in the next few seconds.
Yeah, they'll be happy to get Goss back on. 1 try scored against them in that period, but here it is here. Just running right through the tackle of Ed Tunu. And she's got good size and power as well, so Coxedge fell off too. Good move from England.
Back comes Sarah Goss, and how New Zealand missed her. Not the 2 tries from the Rotorua test in June, but 1 wasn't a bad return for England. While New Zealand were down to 14, and they have possession again, and it's Matthews again. Another strong carry up the midfield.
Don't, 12, don't hold her in.
Hunt to McLean. Jones brought to ground by Fawasili. Flat pass this time. Hunter drops the head, recycles the ball, and it's slow to come back for the English scrum half. McLean, ball in behind, is an overlap on the right hand side. A perfect spot to get up the middle. Perfect for England. Pass inside to Wilson, the dummy. Woodman did just enough to grab the ankle. Still there for England. Relentless attack. McLean on the outside. Thompson for England. Lydia Thompson in the corner. Another English try.
In the semi-final against France, we saw England get really narrow, lose their ambition, but somehow they found it again in the first half here, moving the ball into the open spaces. What they did there was pass the ball really deep behind the initial runners. That null nullifies New Zealand's blitz defence. Bertha got in behind them, and then Katie McLean to Lydia Thompson, and there is no, well, maybe one better finisher, no better finisher than Lydia Thompson.
Yeah, the ball was so fast there, wasn't it, that New Zealand weren't able to reorganise that defence on that short side. Whitcliffe ended up with 2 people to mark. She gave Thompson that extra space, and you don't give this young lady any space.
Lydia Thompson with a brilliant finish for England. What a try that was. Missed the game against USA in the pool stages with a knee injury, but back in. And Emily Scarrett, 100% so far, looking to make it 2 from 2. It's a long way out in the corner. This for a 12-point lead. Decent strike, looks good from here. The flags go up. What about that from Emily Scarrett?
She hasn't quite had her kicking boots on for most of this tournament, but it looks like she chose the right pair tonight, just when you want your kicking form to come back. A touchline conversion is exactly what you want to lift the team.
17 points to 5. England in control in this World Cup final after just over half an hour. New Zealand needs something, Mel, to change things around here.
Well, they need to stop kicking the ball away. That's the first thing. It's obviously the tactics they've been asked to do, but maybe they need to change that now.
Marley Packer bounces off the first challenge, and Blackwell back onto the pitch, which means Rebecca Wood can take her place back on the bench as England and Cockayne come forward again. McLean, lovely deep pass in behind again, and look at the line speed from England onto the ball. Scarrett chopped down, it's gone loose, and then Wilson just to tidy it up at the base of the rug. There from McLean once more. And back to her tight head prop, Sarah Byrne. Long looping pass on the outside. Well, Troy Neville says it went forward, go back. New Zealand get a scrum. This could be a lifeline.
Ooh, that was line ball, wasn't it? And I'm a New Zealander saying that, eh?
The crowd certainly didn't like it. We'll see it now. It's hard to tell from that angle, isn't it? No lines on the pitch to compare against, but there was a huge amount of space out there for England, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think the analysis that England have done on New Zealand has identified there are gaps out wide because of that defensive system they run. They can get a little narrow at times.
And what they're doing well, England, at the moment, is that deep pass behind the initial wave of runners, isn't it, which is enabling them to get outside.
New Zealand surviving on crumbs at the moment.
Further.
They need to retain the ball. They need to get their hands on the ball, and they need to get it into the hands of their backs. That's where they can do the damage. Portia Woodman standing on the left-hand side. Then she switches to the right. She might take first receiver. It's a little bit slow, and it's the passes out in front, and it's all going wrong for New Zealand at the moment. England look to make them pay here. Wilson against Whitcliffe. Back inside she comes. Kelly Brazier comes across to make the tackle. Rubber kick through. Winiata. Did that go forward? No, it did not.
Black, retreat! Retreat!
Hunter. The chase by New Zealand's full-back Winiata, who looked like she was slightly impeded as she went to make the tackle, but Hunter did well. 10 metres back. And there for Natasha Hunt. McLean, again the crossfield kick. This time New Zealand waiting for it. Woodman thought she was calling for it there, but leaves it to her number 8, and Savage brings it up towards the halfway line. Coxidge out to McMenamin. Nice change of angle, and the offload is a good one. Kelly Brazier can't get away from Wilson, needs a bit of help here. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. New Zealand take it up. Itulu. Another pick and go. Better by New Zealand. Smith. Tackled by Taylor. There for Savage. Pick and go by the number 8.
Release! Last and white.
Coxidge now digs one out. Zabritsky, Nafatale on the outside to Woodman. Woodman Tries to go through Katie McLean.
Stay, stay.
36 minutes and Portia Woodman gets her first touch of the ball. Incredible. Blackwell.
Roll 2.
Looks like a steal, but an illegal one. Penalty New Zealand.
Yep. She was off her feet. No way was she allowed to play that there. So New Zealand get a penalty. What will be the option? Probably the line out. And finally, as you said, Woodman gets the ball. Before this game, I found out that she suffers really bad pre-game nerves. They try and get her involved early to get over it. So I hope she's feeling okay now.
Speaking as a former winger, it can be so hard sometimes because you can go 20, 30 minutes without touching the ball, which is exactly what's happened to her today, and it just can't settle your nerves.
Maybe New Zealand can settle something in the shape of a maul. Goss picks it off the back. 5 metres short New Zealand, and England trying to push them backwards in the tackle. Don't want to go into touch on that far side. This is a decent opportunity. Wycliffe standing right on the white here on the wing. We also got Winnie Atta, who's had one try already. We know what pace that she has. Natua, support on her shoulder from Portia Woodman.
7.
Coxedge wants runners. Itunu making herself available. And it is the tight end who's going to take it in. Itunu also almost got past the first tackle, just slipped at a crucial stage.
Arms used, please.
Take and go.
Thank you. Off your feet, leave it.
Abby Scott told to leave it, making life difficult, hasn't rolled away, but New Zealand still there for them. The pass out the back door, over the line. Are they down? They're going to go upstairs. New Zealand are convinced they've scored.
Tackle was fine.
Time off, please. Simon?
Yes, Joy.
I just want to check the grounding. Try or no try, please.
Thanks, Joy. We'll review.
Well, initially I thought a big mitt came out and popped that ball down, and there it is right there. It is a try to New Zealand, set up by their forwards. I think that might be
Natua.
And it was a peach of
Joy,
a pass, wasn't
you
it?
may award the try.
Thanks, Simon.
What a piece of skill, and the awareness Mel to finish with her head facing the wrong way. What a score.
And that pass that was given to her, that was right on the line, in contact, miracle ball. And of course she had great hands to pull it in as well. This means we've got a real contest here. I'm pleased that the Blackburns have struck back because I want a great game, a great final.
You happy too, Sue?
It was a great try, wasn't it? The awareness to finish there when you couldn't see the try line, you couldn't see anything really. A pile of bodies on top of her, reaching out to get that ball over the line.
So Kendra Coxedge to narrow the gap to just 5. On the right side for a right-footed kicker, but the flags stay down, and that's 2 she's missed, which means England lead by 7 points. Another look at this try.
But there's the pass. Came from nowhere. It was Smith, and she's really happy with herself because I don't know how she got that ball away.
2 bits of brilliance, isn't it? The pass away is what fooled the defence because they were sure that they were just setting up the 3 of them to take that in, and then the finish. She had a lot still to do.
McLean goes deep, Coxedge waiting for it, and then Savage breaks the first tackle and then put down by Marley Packer, who's shoved out of the way. New Zealand now tails her up. They don't want the half-time whistle. They're coming back into this game. Block down kick from Brazier. Ball drifts towards that touchline. Only 35% of the ball, and they only trail by 7. I think on the balance of play, Glenmore will take that.
That's one thing you can say about New Zealand. They make the possession count, don't they, when they've got it. You wouldn't expect them to only have 34% possession, but with that, to have 10 points on the board, they've scored most times that they've been in the 22.
Last action of what has been a really entertaining first half. And the ball stolen in the line out. Goss got up really well. And then Farmouse Seeley off the ground, slaps it back. Coxedge to steady the ship a little bit. New Zealand, as I say, they don't want to hear that half-time whistle. They're really grown back into this game. And the hooker and captain carries once more. Coxon switches the play to the left-hand side. This is McMenamin. Nice offload. Little dummy, butterfly half. Sabritsky, Nafatali. Eventually put down by Hunt. And should be there to McMenamin to keep hold of Hunter. England in over the ball, they get the penalty.
Isolated.
Yeah, she ran sideways there, McMenamin. They were doing very well with their attack, being direct, straight. But there it is, Hugh, half-time and a fantastic first 40 minutes.
Well, we've had everything, haven't we? 2 tries for New Zealand, a penalty try, and then Thompson for England. Scarrett's penalty as well. And a fantastic first 40 minutes in Kingspan Stadium. Half-time score in the World Cup final. England 17, New Zealand 10. You do not want to miss the second half. Stay with us.
for the spine.
And you're very welcome back. The second half of the World Cup final about to get underway here in Kingspan Stadium in Belfast. It's England who lead by 7 points, 17-10 against New Zealand, who finished much the stronger in that second half, albeit they were outplayed for large portions of the first 40. What do you want to see from England in the second half?
What England need to do is convert more of that pressure into points. England have dominated possession and yet only 7 points in it. New Zealand are so dangerous when they get the ball.
Well, they need to keep the ball, don't they? They need to use their forwards more and get the ball out wide. We've hardly seen those outside backs. That's where their strength is. Get it out there.
Okay.
We're ready to go. Kendra Coxage gets us back underway. Nobody claims for England. Well, at the first bounce, Natasha Hunt was there.
Lost
As
block.
Packer carries into contact in the scrum half. It's going to feed Cornborough and the loose head into contact. Interested to see how both teams respond in the second half. Scarrett, who was, who kicked that one away. That's not a bad one. Brings play almost to the halfway line.
Slightly ugly kick, but they all count, don't they? England dealing a little better with the kick-off this time around.
And they really back the strength of their line out, both offensively and defensively. She didn't really like it very much, did she?
Ball off the top for New Zealand. Coxage thought about going through the gap, but that was closed as quickly as it opened by Packer. Is back on her feet to make another tackle. Two
7 wide offside.
trying to carry support from Fama Seeley. An advantage being played now to New Zealand. On they go again. Good play by the pack there, keeping it tight, and England struggling to contain the gaps opening up around the fringe. Fama Seeley once more. The captain driving the legs, and on she goes. Put down by Cocaine eventually, but New Zealand have made well of 20 metres in the space of about 30 seconds. Another drive, this time Itunu back on the ball. Did it go forward or go back for the penalty?
Yeah, this is going back to what they put out in a lot of the earlier matches, asking their forwards to take it up beyond the advantage line, using their strength,
Here we go.
brute power.
Here we go.
Keeps the defence honest, doesn't it? Pulls them in a bit, tires them out. You can't just spin the ball wide, and New Zealand just need a bit of possession, don't they? Doesn't matter what kind of possession, really. Keep your hands on the ball, dominate a bit, showing them that you can take the game to them.
What was it? Offside.
Sabritsky Nafatali into the corner. New Zealand with the put into the line out.
Numbers out, get out.
Plenty of options out in that back line. They go to the back of the line out. Sarah
Over the
Goss,
15.
clean take, really good throw. And then the offload there for Savage, dummy into the corner, and on she goes. Goss in to tidy up. Now England get a hand on it, but it's an illegal one, and they've given away another penalty.
Lost.
Well, if I was New Zealand, I'd go for the points, but maybe they don't back the percentage. They want the try.
Zabritsky Nafatali once again. Right boot into touch. England 5 metres out.
Such a good runner on the ball, Savage, isn't she? Gets them over the gain line. The referee had already said, get your hands out.
Line out taken. That's the first part done. Eloise Blackwell setting the platform at the back with the captain. Faumo Seeley looks for the gap. In the England ruck defence and Mull defence, and there they go. New Zealand scores from close range in the first half. Goss waiting for it. Decides to leave it. Support on her shoulder from McMenamin. Now she picks and goes. New Zealand open side. Tackled by Packer. He then rolls away. There for Coxage. Zabritsky Nafatali runs into two. Burford and McLean to try to put her down. There for Coxage once more. Calling for it out wide is Smith, and then the captain. Faumo Seeley 5 metres short. New Zealand want quick ruck ball. Coxage surveys her options and comes back on the right hand side. Goss buries into the tackle. New Zealand hunting for another try. They go wide this time. Zabritsky Nafatali just short. Didn't back her strength. Then the offload. Natua. A second try for Natua. New Zealand in again.
Took out Natua. The powerhouse from Waikato is having a great game when she gets the pill. And it was involvement from all kinds of numbers. Zabritsky Nafatali always will take on the line when she's that close. She's got a wonderful step, but great defence from England. Initially stopped, then once again just that really low body position and the power from her legs. A little pop pass from Zabritsky Nafatali on the ground too.
2 tries in a World Cup final, either side of half-time for Natua.
It probably wasn't Natua we had pegged before the game to be one with 2 tries at this point, was it? It was Portia Woodman. She's hardly touched the ball. New Zealand scoring all their tries from pick and goes round the fringes. What's going on in this game?
It's called surprise tactics.
Coxage to level it up then. Right-footed strike. She hasn't got one yet. What a time to get your first kick of the game. We are all square in this World Cup final.
That is the start to this half that every neutral wanted, isn't it? New Zealand back in the game early on. England under pressure, all tied.
Time to gather breath. Katie McLean restarts, and again Coxage in the right place at the right time. Straight to her number 8. Aroha Savage on the charge, and New Zealand, well, they're confident at the moment, aren't they? Coxage once more goes to her fly half. Zabritsky Nafatali, crossfield kick. Where's it going to bounce? An awkward one. Back for Hunt. Natasha Hunt. Little bit of a juggle and then goes round the outside of Natua. Taylor going to ground. Smith. Instructions to leave it from Joy Neville. Hunt to McLean. Oh, flat line is a beauty. Almost getting away. Does get away, Megan Jones. And then the offload as well. What a line that was. Just lost her feet. A little tap on the leg to upset the balance, and otherwise she could have been straight down the throat and towards the try line. Still there for England.
No, Black, overleave it.
McLean, little switch with Scarrett. Well, running into each other, accidental offside, and then it went forward. Knock on against Emily Sparrow, and New Zealand get the scrum.
Those two, McLean and Scarrett, have played so much rugby together. Never would you expect a misunderstanding between them. But here, Mo Hunt takes the clearance kick, juggles it, but just manages to keep hold of it. That's what gets England on the front foot. And then it's that line from Megan Jones. Just enough of a tackle from Itunu.
Stability, girls, please.
Yeah, mistake in the end. I think they're sometimes in that defence in the midfield for the Black Ferns, just players are not identifying who they've got, and so when England change angles, it's been very effective hitting a hole.
Portia Woodman is ready to pounce here.
Two went in together early. I want to see a clear gap before I call the set.
You can be sure that England have been doing their video analysis on that, can't you? Portia Woodman in short off the scrummage. What it could do, though, is if they do try and cover that, it'll bring the defence in tight, leaving all sorts of space out wide for Whitecliffe, who is just as threatening a runner.
Set. Hold it, hold it.
Well, Thompson has come up flat from a deep position. Maybe she's expecting Woodman to go blind if she was a decoy runner, and then Brazier takes it out to her fly half. Zabritsky Nafatali again launches the kick, but again Enemy Scarrett is perfectly placed and returns the favour. Zabritsky Nafatali once more. Off she goes. Two to bring her down. Nice little step into contact by the New Zealand first receiver, and then a loose pass, and dangerous one. England pounce. Can they get turnover ball, and can they use it quickly? There for Jones. Overlap on the left-hand side. Packer goes out to Burford. Scarrett. And Wilson sending Scarrett still going forward. Dragged to the ground by Savage.
No! Vantage. Vantage.
And then Natua gives away the penalty. Advantage being played. Hunt goes out to McLean. Go back for the penalty.
Look, the referee was telling Natua, the try-scoring hero, before, you need to take your hands off it. You've got to listen to the referee. She gave her an opportunity.
And she's been really consistent with both sides on that, hasn't she? There's been times when you think the defence, England or New Zealand, are going to be able to steal the ball, and she's saying, no, it's lost, get your hands out. And that's when, as a player, you've got to have that awareness, keep your ears open. That's the error that enabled England to turn it over. Then they just kept their hands on the ball. Emily Scarrett, another good line from her, isn't it? She's had a really, really solid game so far, and it's this breakdown.
Yeah, she was okay at the beginning, but tackle, ball, release.
Chance then for Scarrett to kick England into a 3-point lead. Perfect conditions. Lift with the left knee, strike with the right boots, it's off the post and it's gone over. Just about.
Everyone watching that one wondering which way it had gone. Had it just crept in off the post or just crept out off the post? It's in off the post, a couple of inches over. They all count.
No pictures on the scorecard. Scarrett's penalty puts England back in front as Woodman gives chase in a restart, and she's up first, but Packer just breezes by her like she wasn't even there. And then Hunt back to her fly half, another big boot from Katie McLean. Savage takes the tackle. Coxidge. McMenamin. Chance here for beautiful handoff as well on the outside. Waka on her own, needs a bit of help, and then the offload is good. Brilliant support play by Goss to get the pass. And then New Zealand, lovely break by the outside centre, Stacey Waka.
Use it.
Splitting the midfield. On New Zealand go. Ball still there, Savage. Tackled by Cornborough. Queuing up on the right-hand side now, New Zealand. Coxidge looking for instructions. Still the forwards happy to take it up. Now they go wide. Brazier, Kelly Brazier tries the handoff. Strong arm, and then Wilson comes in to help out her outside centre, Megan Jones. Brazier told to hit the ground, and therefore scrum half. Coxidge to feed. Blackwell hit hard in the tackle. Really good hit by Sarah Byrne. Fawasili.
Off your feet, wide, leave it.
Brazier, two outsider. Woodman's looking for the ball on the outside. Push to Woodman, sizing up the opposition, and Thompson comes across to snuff out the danger. Coxage again. Still, the opportunity is there for New Zealand. Goss buries herself under the tackle and recycles the ball quickly. Savage, little step off her outside boot. 5 metres short, pick and go. This is Itunu.
On your feet, White. Back.
Goss powering away towards the line. Sarah Goss. What a tackle. Still there on the base of the post. It should be a try. It is a try. New Zealand score again.
Charmaine Smith, she set up the previous try to Natua, and now she used her noggin and saw she was right by the base. But let's have a look at this initial break here from Waka. Beautiful offhand on the halfback. She had the support of who else but Sarah Goss, who held it up, got the support play there. That's a good opportunity for Woodman, but look at that defence there. Then it was recycle. Have a look at Smith, saw the base, knows the rules, try.
Yeah, and it's so hard to defend that base, isn't it? You just can't get round there because you're offside if you do. But that's 3 tries now, Mel, from New Zealand, round the fringes, pick and go, Southern Hemisphere rugby.
Yeah, it's a bit of a turn off the tables, isn't it? You guys are playing expansive. New Zealand is using the forwards and the pick and go.
So effective though, isn't it? England at the moment have no answer for that defensively. New Zealand getting over the gain line every time when they're that close to the try line with those big ball carriers.
14 points scored by New Zealand, 2 tries since the restart. Emily Scarrett, the penalty, England's only score. Burford goes off and in comes Amber Reid. What do you make of that substitution? Do you think it's the right call?
It's a huge call. Amber Reid is a quality player. She brings something a little bit different, but Rachel Burford has had an outstanding World Cup.
Savage again looks to make ground, and look at a powerful run by the big number 8. Offload was good as well. Fresh legs for England. Let's see if they can get the ball though, because it's all one-way traffic at the moment. McMenamin makes 5 metres there for the little crossfield kick. Now where's this going to bounce? Thompson well placed. Lydia Thompson round the outside. Thompson, foot race against Woodman. Thompson against Woodman. Who's going to win it? Thompson for England! Oh my word, what a score!
Mel Robinson, you called it. You said New Zealand have to stop picking away possession. It's a high-risk strategy. Sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it does exactly the opposite. New Zealand have kicked straight to England's most potent finisher, Lydia Thompson, and the defence, Portia Woodman, Salika Winiata. Really quick players could do nothing about it. She does so well, Thompson here. Shrugs off the tackle from Waka, and then Portia Woodman, trailing in her wake, cannot get there. Coxage cannot get there. What a piece of solo brilliance from her.
Absolute wrong option from New Zealand, and Portia Woodman had overcommitted herself on defence there. Waka didn't have the pace to pull in Thompson. There's one player in the world that's run around Portia Woodman in 2017. It's her, and that's about the 3rd time she's done it this year.
What a score from Lydia Thompson, her 2nd of the World Cup final. Anything Natua can do, Thompson can do. And Scarrett, this for a 3-point lead, hasn't missed one yet. First time for everything. It's gone to the left and wide. But Lydia Thompson, the face of determination as she went down that wing.
Okay.
Incredible stuff by the winger.
Time off.
She just stood up the defence, didn't she? Waka, Woodman, both wrong-footed. Neither of them expecting that, and she has absolute gas. Lydia Thompson, just what New Zealand didn't want. They just got in front again. They just started to dominate after all that England possession.
Here come the Cavalries too. An entire front row replacement. Vicky Fleetwood, Rochelle Clark for her 129th international cap, and Justine Lucas for her 27th. Fresh legs in the front row for England.
Outside.
Hunt, right-footed kick. That's gone out in the full. It's a mistake for England, and this game swinging like a pendulum.
White on the line,
It's everything
please.
we wanted. Close.
White on the line, please.
Different tactics.
Thanks.
The ball getting passed from backs to forwards. It's just fantastic, isn't it?
What a game. 23 minutes still to play. World Cup on the line. And England 1 point in front. Coxage to Goss. Ducks under Marley Packer. New Zealand trying to realign here. And the big carry from Tulu. Dragged to the ground. Back with McMenamin. And then support on her shoulder. From Savage. And on they go again. Natua looking for a hat-trick. Natua for a hat-trick! Incredible!
What's going on? The end-to-end rugby, quite phenomenal. What is the referee looking for
Simon?
here?
Yes, Joy.
Can you just check, and with a possible knock-on before she regathered the ball to score the try? Is there any reason why
Thanks.
I cannot award the try, please?
We'll review, Joy.
Thank you.
We're looking for a knock-on.
Well, from the angle where we were watching the initial play, it was from behind, so we didn't see anything. Here's a look at Natua. Ooh. I'm not sure. I don't think she had her hands on it when it
Joy?
went forward.
Yes?
There's no reason you may award the try.
Thank you very much.
Try given. A hat-trick in a World Cup final.
It's just phenomenal, isn't it? Before the game, all the talk was about how New Zealand were going to take England on out wide. Did England have an answer to that? What England don't have an answer for today is New Zealand's tight game, picking round the fringes, picking through the middle, the big ball carriers. Phenomenal.
Well, she used to be a number 8. Tuka Natua converted recently, and hasn't she made a fist of it tonight? Wow-wee. She's got everything.
If New Zealand leave with that trophy, they're going to have a huge amount of thanks for their loose head prop Natua. 3 tries, 31-25, and we still have 20 minutes left to play. You could not call which way this one is going to go. Substitution
Complete. Johnny?
for New Zealand, and Carla Hohepa is in for her 19th cap. Latoya Mason as well for Natasha Hunt for England. So fresh legs all round, and this is where the bench and the fitness is going to prove crucial. Tackle from Matthews. Coxage picks it off the base, and then Sabritsky Nafatali over the halfway line. Here is Scarrett. Stumbled in as the tackle's being made, and now New Zealand look like they're trying to get their hands. They have got their hands on this ball. Kick over the top from Coxage. After this one is Winiata. Wilson is back there. Wilson backs her pace to get around the tackle. Oh, brilliant hits from Salika Winiata to put her down. But equally good in composure from the English winger.
Get on.
Back in the pocket, McLean. Right footed kick into touch. And it's going to be a line out to New Zealand.
It was the slip from Emily Scarrett that put England under pressure, wasn't it? She fielded the ball well, but then fell before contact. Here, it's a good take, which takes the ball forward, slips there, and that was just completely isolated then, allowing New Zealand to get in there and turn the ball over. Now, it was a line out, pretty much this far out, that New Zealand just controlled the ball to that last try, just keeping it in the forwards.
Izzy Noel-Smith comes in from Marley Packer into the English back row. New Zealand with the line outs. Doesn't go quite to plan and went forward, it looked like, from an English hand. So advantage being played to New Zealand. We're going to go back for the scrum.
No advantage.
But the 18,000 crowd here in Kingspan Stadium are being treated to a cracker.
This is epic. Everything we expected. Interesting too in the second half. Now the territory 44% in New Zealand's favour. That's a big turnaround from the first quarter.
Thank you.
Huge. Whatever they said at half-time, New Zealand They've really turned it around. England dominated possession, didn't make it count, and now it's New Zealand dominating.
Bind.
What can they manage from this then?
Set.
Zabritsky, Nafatali in deep conversation with her backline just before this scrum. England put the pressure on. They need to get this one out the back door. Coxedge finds her fly half. Fraser on a dummy run. Chance for the substitution, and then the juggle attempt from Woodman did really well to hang on to that ball.
Last right.
Savage brought down by Clark. There for Coxedge. Trying to burst through. Is it Tunu? Then a bit of attention to one of the New Zealand players on the ground at the moment. Temporary down to 14, breaking the line to try and make the tackle. Here's Portia Woodman, no room to go. Or is there? Portia Woodman for New Zealand. Woodman into 22. Off she goes. Handoff of the pass to Williata. Just didn't find its mark. Play on, says the referee. Still there for New Zealand.
White.
Still down a player, but still with possession. Coxedge under pressure to use it.
No, 17, no.
Carried by Atunu. Tackled by Matthews. Still there. Faumosini for Goss. Sarah Goss trying to slip underneath the tackle. It's all New Zealand at the moment. The camped inside England's 22. Another score here would be massive. Back with the captain. Pick and go from her. Driving the legs towards the 5-metre line. Another effort from the pack. Desperate England defence here. And they're queuing up. Advantage being played to New Zealand against the high tackle. Coxedge has options both sides.
Number 16 high.
Blackwell calling for it. Coxedge goes herself and then tries the offload. Thought better of it. There for Faumosini. Just short. New Zealand hammering away at the English line. Coxedge, a little snipe from our scrum half. Try given. Kendra Coxedge is down and New Zealand stretch their lead.
She has been communicating, yelling, driving her forward pack this entire match. Kendra Coxedge, she's the brains behind the pack, telling them to keep on picking going. Get out to the midfield, and finally she gets a reward for her hard work. Her delivery's been outstanding, but when she sniffs an opportunity, she'll take it, and there it was there. The try for New Zealand.
Time off. Time off, please.
So impressive, this game plan from New Zealand. It's so far from what any of us expected them to do in this game. And England, how much time do you spend in training, defending the fringes, getting up off the line, stopping those big ball carriers in tight? England have no answer for it. Outstanding from New Zealand.
Yeah, different types of athletes in both of the packs. The English, very, very tall. They're very athletic. They are very mobile. And so are the New Zealanders, but they're shorter in stature. They're a little bit more explosive, you could argue. They've got change of direction in their footwork. And that's how they're doing such a good job there, as we see Stacey Waka for New Zealand getting on the buggy. She's been injured. This will be good night for her.
But the big difference, isn't it? England dominated possession in the first half, didn't get that many points on the board. New Zealand have dominated possession in the second half, and they are making it count every time.
Generous applause for Stacey Waka as she heads off for some more treatment, hopefully nothing too serious, and Kendra Coxedge to convert her own try. The gap 11 points here, this for 13. Regardless, England will need 2 tries to pull it back. And 17 minutes to play. Got to be mindful of the time here. 60 seconds to take the conversion. It's gone over again. Well, England asking Joy Neville to check the stopwatch here. pull that one left and wide. Have a look at Portia Woodman here.
Well, this is what she can do when she does get the pill, and it was a nasty little pass behind her. Thompson was nowhere near her, so tit for tat on the wing there. She beat 3 players, tried to get that offload off. Danger mouse.
Similar, isn't it, to the Lydia Thompson one earlier? Defence has stopped and they make the most of that flat-footed defence.
What about that for a take for Natua, and quick feet as well from the loose head prop. Confirmation there that Teresa Fitzpatrick has come in for her 7th cap off the bench for New Zealand in place of Waka.
Roll 16.
Kick over the top from Cox is again really clever kick, and a bounce into the 22. What about that from the scrum half?
Yeah, New Zealand a little bit more effective in their kicking game when Kogsich takes over, because she's kicking it where the space is away from Scarrett. And of course Scarrett was expecting perhaps them to go
16.
wide.
16 wide.
At the moment, every New Zealand carry is getting them over the gain line, pushing the England defence back, giving Coxage a lovely platform to kick from, isn't it? At the moment, the New Zealand pack right on top.
Take a step, please.
Fleetwood to throw. The Saracens hooker. Short line out by England. Up goes Miller-Mills. And ball for England. It's been a complete flip from the first half where England dominated possession. New Zealand, different story in that second half. The big boot of Scarrett. As far as Salika Winiata. Hohepa trying to go through the tackle. Put onto the ground by Megan Jones, and there for Coxage again. Strong carry by McMenamin. Body position a little high, but she got down low, and Coxage again. Oh, she's confident at the moment. Fancy a little break there, just no gap for her to come into. Quick hands again. Farnwell Seeley onto the ground. McMenamin into support, and off she goes, straight down the throat
16.
of Noel Smith. Itunu, another massive carry.
18.
England running out of time, they need 2 tries.
Release 8.
Pick and go once more, this time Blackwell. That tackle looked a little bit high, but Joy Neville happy to let play continue. Coxage. Now they're going to go at the back line. Fitzpatrick with a wraparound, little chip from the top. Kelly Brazier. Portia Woodman's after this one, sits up for Scarrett, and all she can do is carry it into touch.
Thanks, Abby.
You see how Brazier, though, is able to still get a kick away even when she's under duress.
Time off.
There were no other options, so she looked up
Time off injury.
and thought, right, I've got to get this
Time
to
off,
Woodman.
captain injury, okay.
Over the back of Thompson, but great cover from Scarrett.
Their ball, right?
Phenomenal awareness from Brazier. Brilliant positioning. Scarrett had no choice but to take the ball out. New Zealand now have another line out, 7 metres out from the line. They've scored every time they've had one of these so far, because England have had no answer to it. Look at those possession stats.
What's happened to England?
Take your time.
They dominated the first half, but they've just been blown out of it since the restart.
Well, New Zealand are not kicking the ball away anymore, are they?
A part of it, a huge part of it, is a change in the New Zealand game plan. First half, New Zealand constantly kicking the ball away, not using those brilliant big ball carrying forwards. Now they're doing that, getting over the gain line every time.
Itunu goes off, and Alicia Nelson comes in to earn her 26th cap off the bench for New Zealand.
Ladies. Wait.
You get the feeling here, if New Zealand score from this, it's all over.
Wait. We need to wait till number 3 is
13
gone.
minutes to play. New Zealand have never lost in a World Cup final. Initial shove from England to push New Zealand back, making life difficult at the back.
Roll!
Now told to roll away. Advantage being played to New Zealand, and it's a penalty. But clear instructions there to Harriet Miller-Mills to roll away. She did not do so.
Just like in the first half, obviously he couldn't roll away, but it's still an offence. That time I don't think Miller-Mills could roll away, but it's still an offence. There's nowhere to go there, but she is right in the way of the ball getting played.
She didn't really attempt to roll away as well, though. She just kept her body right there, which is probably a wise move instead of giving away a try.
Again, clean ball from the line out. Doss gets stuck in at the back and leads the charge forward. You see him looking to use this now. Taken straight up the middle by Zabriskie Nafatali. Bashes her way into Katie McLean. There for Coxedge. Directing traffic around the fringe. Once runners England. No, they must repel this New Zealand attack. Savage. Another chance to go, driving the legs almost at the line. Is there anything England can do to stop this? There's an air of inevitability about it, the crossfield kick. Waiting for it. Chance to score, the pass on the outside to Winiata. Lovely hands from Hohepa. And Winiata touches down. Surely that's the game for New Zealand.
Well, that time when they used the kick pass, there was no defence back there for England. No Scarrett. She was hard out defending this side. And one big, massive hole, 3 black jerseys. Hohepa could have gone herself, but gave the wraparound to Winiata, and the execution of the kick was what did it too.
That's the difference, isn't it? That was a kick pass. They knew exactly where that kick was going, and they'd done the hard yards up front first. They pulled in the defence, they'd got themselves on the front foot, they'd earned the right to place the kick, but at the moment the New Zealand pack just dominating. There is nothing England can do with less than 20% possession.
It's amazing really going into this match. A lot of the talk centred around England's fitness levels, particularly in the second half and particularly amongst their forwards. But New Zealand have just dominated since the restart, and Coxedge to try and increase the damage. No. 41-25, it's a long way back. Another look at the try, brilliant awareness, super hands. Winiata says thank you very much.
That's a huge smile, isn't it? That's a smile that says we really don't think England have got any way back from here. 16 points in the lead, 10 minutes to go against a team of the quality of this New Zealand side. It's just been a phenomenal display of control, of possession from New Zealand in this half, hasn't it?
Amy Wilson-Hardy comes on, and then Katie McLean. What a time to do that. It's all falling apart for England at the moment.
It is. They were so accurate in the first 40 minutes, but just the odd thing, the kick out on the fall there, maybe 10 or so minutes ago.
Thought so.
And then just not being able to get possession is the key thing. Once those black forwards have the ball, they just can't stop them.
Please. Hold the push.
Leslie Ketu in for New Zealand, and Coxedge to feed.
Bind. Set. Hold it.
Savage. Coxedge once more. Frazier. On the outside to Hohepa, tries the handoff. Didn't quite work, and then it went forward. Off an England hand first. No. It'll be New Zealand's put in to the scrum.
Thank you.
The game's not over yet. I'm going to be heading down to the sideline to do the interviews with both the teams, but I've got to say it's been a resilient performance from New Zealand. They changed their pattern, their structure into the second half, and it worked for them. The type of athlete that they've picked in the pack is very difficult to stop or put behind the game line, and it's really worked a treat for them.
Look at the space that Portia Woodman has in the near side. She's completely unmarked. If I'm a betting man, Zabriskie Nafatali is going to use that peg in a crossfield kick here again. She's got oceans of room on this near side. Got to win the scrum first though, and England have stolen it. Hunter picks off the base. Swallowed up in the tackle by Ketu.
Through the middle. Through the
And the ball squirts loose, still there for England, albeit sloppy, and then they give away the penalty.
Offside.
It's
White
all
19.
going New Zealand's
Offside.
way at the moment, isn't it? Really ominous for England, no answer. It's been very hard for either team to steal the ball at the breakdown in this match, but that time New Zealand get their hands on it. Despair, really, for this England team.
Kick to the corner by Zabriskie, Nafatali, and Aroha Savage. Well, look at that, 16 carries, 101 metres made, and 2 offloads to boot as well. It's been a massive performance by the number 8, and New Zealand win the line-out. Taken by Smith, setting the body positions low. Goss doing some hard work in there just to prevent England getting through and their hands on it. Although it's not a bad joke from Noel Smith there, but Cox needs to get it away, and then the whistle goes. England get the put into the scrum.
They've been so dominant, haven't they, in the pack in this half, that it's almost a surprise to see England come out on top in that maul. So dominant in the tight.
Black 5. Black 5.
Substitute for New Zealand. Rebecca Wood comes in.
You see anything?
And Charmaine Smith goes off.
Crouch. Bind. Okay, listen, ladies. I want to see an obvious gap before we engage. Okay? Both sides. Hold it back.
Let's go, Justin. Win the fucking race then, Justin.
Crouch.
England running out of time.
Bind.
6.5 minutes, maybe just over to go.
Hold it.
The gap, 16 points. They need 3 scores. Wilson carries straight up the middle.
Backwards.
Is there any room to get space on the outside and try and get in behind this New Zealand defence, which at the moment is dominating? There's a penalty.
Release.
Quick tap and go. Mason wastes no time.
Advantage,
Little offload
not 10.
as well, not 10. Amber Reid gives the pass away. And then Wilson will go back for the penalty. New Zealand not back 10.
Yeah, England had to give the tap and go a try, didn't they? This time they'll go for the territory.
Touch not found. Well, what a time to do that. Hohepa goes in behind Rochelle Clark. Then advantage being played to England. They've got ball, they've got quick ball here. Maybe turnover and a chance to use it. There was an overlap here. If that had gone wide, they can still go wide. Straight lines of running. Jones trying to wrestle through. She's watched and tackled by Kelly Brazier, and still there for Mason. Miller Mills on the ground. McLean. Chance on the outside. Wilson bounces off one tackle. Hohepa just couldn't put her down.
Release.
And Mason quick to it. We have 4 minutes left to go in the World Cup final. England need to score quickly. In over the top there. Leslie Ketu. And the penalty goes to England.
10. Captain. Captain, please. Captain, please. I spoke to you about the first half going over the ball with a negative body position. I spoke to you again. Off you go.
It's a yellow card for Leslie Ketu. New Zealand will finish with 14 players.
Yeah, and she'll be disappointed, Leslie Ketu, not long on the pitch and going straight back off again. New Zealand have the game on. Of course you want to end it on the pitch. England will go for territory, but it's just not enough now.
I'll ask you for your Aon player of the match, please, Lou.
It's so hard to call, isn't it? But in the end, it has been a hugely dominant performance by the New Zealand pack, the New Zealand ball carriers, and you cannot argue with a hat-trick in a World Cup final. So, Natua it is.
Sosoli Talawandua comes in place of the hat-trick hero and the player of the match, Toka Natua. A well-earned rest on the bench, and even with 14 players to finish, it's a mountain and it's too much you feel for England to do. Can they get a try here though? Almost at the line, they're over, are they down? Neville has a look and says yes, England have a try. Is there a glimmer, a faint glimmer of hope?
Surely isn't enough time now. England want to try and convert this quickly, but it just shows what the England pack can do when they get in the right places on the pitch. But in this second half, they simply haven't been there enough.
Scarrett needs to get on with it, 3 minutes to go. Even if this goes over, they still need 2 more scores, though. Decent strike again from the England full-back. What about that for a kick? 32-41.
What a rugby match this is. 32-41. World Cup finals. Normally teams play it tight, they don't get ambitious, they don't score tries. These are 2 prolific teams. England just squeezed the ball over there. What have they got in the last 2.5 minutes?
Wow, what a finish to an incredible game of rugby. Worthy of a final, worthy of any final, but to do it on a World Cup stage. These 2 teams, titanic battle so far in Belfast. Hunter, the captain. Is there time for England to get 2 more scores? Carried into contact by Miller Mills, and she needs to hit the ground, and she needs to hit it quickly. She's been held up at the moment, still going forward, and she's struggling to get down. New Zealand keeping her. Turnover ball, that should be it.
Take it in.
That was the error, wasn't it? Taking the ball in too high, and Sabritsky Napatali that held her up. They got some big ball carriers in the forward, they got some big, strong ball carriers in the backs too. There she is, she gets under the ball, doesn't she? Does so well to do that.
9 black, 9.
And then the whole pack just streams in, knowing that's what they want to do. They want to hold it up, they want to keep hold of possession, stop England having possession, more importantly.
The captain goes off, Fauma Seeley makes way, what a shift. And Kendra Copsage as well, 2 monster performances at scrum half and hooker for New Zealand, and they know now that the game is won, and they know now that the World Cup will go to New Zealand. Takura Nata Arena Mate comes in place of her captain in the front row.
Crouch. Bind.
Less than 90 seconds to play. New Zealand with possession, and Christina Sue with the feed. Ball's okay. Brazier, little step on the inside and still going. We're approaching the final minute in the Kingspan Stadium in a World Cup final. New Zealand with the ball. England, it looks like too much to do now. 9 points the gap, 2 scores needed.
Use it!
And they don't have the ball. Another carry inside the 22. Really good clear out as well.
Use it!
From the support. Clark makes the hit, then rolls away. New Zealand protecting the ball at the base. They know if they wind down the clock for the last 30 seconds, they'll be World Cup champions. They were beaten in 2014 by Ireland in the pool phase, which meant they couldn't even contest the semi-final. That's done. And they were here on a mission. They've played some fantastic rugby over the last 2 years or so, none more so than the summer, when even they were beaten by England, you still sense that there was more to come from this team. and they have put in a masterclass in the second half. They trailed by 7 points at the break, but they now know if they put this into the stands, they will be champions of the world.
19!
England have fought, but they just didn't have enough, and New Zealand are World Cup champions in 2017.
What a game of rugby! What a World Cup final! What a dominant performance from that New Zealand pack in the second half, Hugh.
An incredible game of rugby, a credit to both teams. Heartbreak for England, the defending champions beaten in the final. Well, New Zealand, what can you say? 100% record continues on the grandest stage of international rugby. Clinical in the second half when they needed to be. A performance worthy of any World Cup trophy.
It certainly is. The game is worthy of a World Cup final.
Final score in Kingspan Stadium, England 32, New Zealand, your world champions, 41. Well, a tale of two halves, really, if ever I've seen it.
A tale of two halves, it certainly was. England dominated the first half, but couldn't quite make it count. Only 7 points up at half-time, and then New Zealand dominated the second half. The possession stats so stark, but New Zealand made it count. New Zealand surprised us all with their tactics. They didn't play the expansive game we were all expecting. They kept it tight. They saw a chink in England's arm around the fridges, and they exploited it, and they exploited it, and they exploited it, and England had no answer.
17 points to 10, England were leading at the break, but New Zealand just clawed their way back into it. Sublime rugby at times, and then even when you thought they might pull away, England hit back each time. Tears are understandable, heartbreaking stuff. But for New Zealand, champions once again. So many brilliant performances, 1 to 23 really, impact subs off the bench. And brilliant scenes for the 18,000 that gathered here in the stadium. They were treated to a classic.
It really was a classic, wasn't it? You just don't expect that sort of score in a World Cup final. 32 points to 41. New Zealand absolutely deserved it. They dominated. They came back from the disappointment of the first half. They must have gone in at half-time wondering how they were going to get themselves back in it. But
let's go down to the sideline. Mel Robinson is with the winning captain, Fau Masili for New Zealand.
Congratulations. I can see that you've got tears in your eyes and you're very emotional. I guess that's because of what happened at the last Rugby World Cup and how hard you guys worked.
Yeah, that was definitely on our mind from 2014, but new team in 2017. I'm so proud of the girls. We dug deep. Full credit to England. They really gave it to us in that first 15, 20 minutes. But our girls just today built our character in our team, our culture in our team, and I couldn't be any prouder.
Everybody thought you were going to win this game through your backs, but you didn't, did you?
No, I mean, we had to really dig deep. We said to the girls, you've got to really go into your dark places and really fight for your families, and that's what they did today.
Future of women's rugby for New Zealand, how's that looking?
Oh, it's looking bloody awesome, Melody. You know, there's a lot of girls playing rugby these days, and for these girls to be the role models for our future, I'm just amazed, and I'm so excited.
Well done.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone back home for your support. We love you guys.
Yeah, very happy captain Fau Masili on the occasion of her 51st. She won't forget this one. There was the final kick into the stands, securing victory for New Zealand. And look what it means to Zabritski Nafatali. Incredible game for her, and a hand in so many tries too. They all played a part. Hohepa off the bench. Celebrations will continue for a long, long time, and you have to say on the balance of play for the tournament, they scored the most tries, and it's not often you see that. Let's go back down. Mel is with Sarah Hunter, the England captain.
Sarah, commiserations, because the first half was brilliant for you guys, but just in the second half you just couldn't quite get the ball enough.
No, absolutely. We gave it everything out there tonight, and all credit to New Zealand. I think we just lost the momentum, and they got it, they got on top, and we just couldn't seem to get our hands back on the ball, and and when we did, we looked threatening, but yeah, we fought for everything, and unfortunately at the end of the day, the result got away from us.
What do you say to your team tonight, and what do you say to those amazing people out there that have supported you through this tournament?
I'm so proud of the girls and to have captained this fantastic side, and one result doesn't make us a bad team, and the girls can stand tall tonight and be proud of everything we've achieved over the last 8 months, and we just fell at the final hurdle, and thank you to all the amazing support that have come here tonight and are watching us back home, and sorry we couldn't get the win for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sarah Hunter, disappointment, heartbreak for England, who were brilliant throughout the tournament and brilliant tonight. When you say that England would score 32 points in a final and still come out second best.
Incredible, isn't it? Second best with 32 points.
Confirmation of the player of the match, Tuka Natua, hat-trick hero, Aon player of the match, presented by Hilary Casement of Montepay, and here's her tries.
Just phenomenal, isn't it? We all expected Portia Woodman to be the hat-trick hero if there was going to be one in a World Cup final, and instead it was the prop, the front row superstar Natua, who found a way over the try line. All a little bit different, her tries. A hat-trick, you scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. That'll be one to tell the grandkids about.
Absolutely. All right, we are almost set for the presentation then, and the World Cup. New Zealand just savouring the appreciation from the crowd. That's what they've won. It's been a long campaign. It was a tough final. And Fiona Coughlin, former Ireland captain, former Grand Slam winning captain, is going to bring the World Cup trophy onto the pitch here in Kingspan Stadium. And it's a nice honour for an Irish captain in front of a home crowd. And it's great to see the majority of the crowd have stuck around as well, just to cheer on New Zealand. And that's what it means at this level, Sue, to lose in a final. That's what it means.
I know exactly how it feels to lose in a final at this level. You put your heart and soul into it, you put everything into it, but there has to be a loser in a match like this. It is gut-wrenching, it is heartbreaking, but you have to pick yourself up and smile and applaud the victors who, on this occasion, absolutely deserved it.
What a tournament they've had.
First up, we're going to have the presentation of the bronze medal for La France. And Bill Bowman, chairman of World Rugby, alongside him, Phil Orr, president of the Irish Rugby Football Union, to this French team who really left it all on the line against England. Fantastic match as well in of its own right. And then to back that up with a very impressive performance against the United States of America, who are a coming team and one to watch out for the future. But this French team, Sophie Ndiaye, with those familiar dreadlocks and the braids in the hair. So many good players in the French team. Ladanu. Marjorie Mayan going up to collect her medal as well. And away for the crowds. It's been a tough campaign for the French. They came through the pool against the Irish, of course, the host of this tournament, and beat them in that third and final game to cement their place in the semi-final. Monster Amadi picking up her medal, another fantastic player over the course of the last 3 weeks or so. There have been so many. They've been treated to some fantastic tries as well. And they'll have to settle for the bronze medal. Never made a World Cup final, France. Will that change in 2021?
It will change, won't it? Eventually. They've certainly been the best French team I think I've ever seen at this tournament, getting better and better.
Bill Beaumont and Phil Orr just presenting the last of the medals for the bronze place finishers. Third at the World Cup for France, and
well, ladies and
off they go down to take a photo.
Today. What a great performance.
And England up they come, led by the captain Sarah Hunter. 97th international appearance today for the number 8. Fantastic.
She's been such a good, strong captain for this team. This time last World Cup, they were going up last, getting themselves set on that stage, ready to celebrate. It's such a contrast, so much harder this way around, but you've got to suck it up. These are the moments that make you, as a player, make you work harder next time.
A quick word for Danielle Waterman as well. She couldn't play, watching on from the sidelines.
Just awful for her. She had worked so hard to be here. More than likely, her last World Cup, she'd had a stormer of a tournament. So important for England back there. Emily Scarrett did a brilliant job at 15. Meg Jones, a brilliant job standing in at 13. But Danielle Waterman has a little bit of stardust and unfortunately wasn't able to sprinkle it on this World Cup final.
Heartbreaking for her. Amy Wilson-Hardy going up to take her silver medal, another of England's sevens players. And what about Katie McLean? She has just been fantastic, start to finish, controlling the English back line, directing the troops as you would expect a player of her calibre to do.
She has had a very, very good World Cup, controlling things, kicking into the corners. The second half of this match, she just didn't really get a chance to do any of that because the New Zealand pack dominated to such a degree.
Simon Middleton, well, I'm sure disappointed that his team couldn't get over the line, but these players will be back. And I suppose the question mark over the future of English 15s rugby in terms of the contracts ending after the World Cup, that's a discussion for another day. But here we go. This New Zealand team scoring the most amount of tries in the tournament. It's not always that the team who scores the most ends up with the trophy, but it has happened on this occasion, and they're full value for it.
They really are full value for it. We've said it already, but the way that they adapted their game plan took England by surprise. Attack round the fringes. England no answer for that whatsoever. There's Kelly Brazier. Melody picked her out at the start of the game. She's been so pivotal for this team, making the players around her tick.
If I told you at the start of the game that New Zealand would score 7 tries and Portia wouldn't get one, would you believe me?
I would have thought it was very, very unlikely. Portia Woodman always scores tries, doesn't she? 22 tries in 15 tests. That's an outrageous
Only
statistic.
Joe Rocca-Coco has matched that statistic in terms of the first 15 tests. 22 tries is phenomenal strike rate. She is a phenomenon.
I'm quite sure she won't care at all that she didn't get on the scoreboard today. It wasn't that kind of game. It didn't need to be. She didn't need to finish tries from 50 metres out. Today it was all about the dominance of the pack in the second half.
Smiles from Bill Beaumont as he puts the medal around Talawandua. Team performance really from New Zealand, and even when they did trail at half-time by 7 points, you got the feeling there was more to come from them if things went their way.
You always thought it was a bit ominous for England, dominating possession by that much and only going in 7 points ahead. Everybody knows how potent this New Zealand team is, and you knew if they could get a foothold in the game, they'd make it count.
Brilliant. Well, Glenn Moore mentioned the music was so important to them, and it's a big part of what they do as a squad. You can see that with the reaction there. Here comes the captain, Fiao Paumasini.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Women's Rugby
New Zealand
World Cup 2017
World Champions for 2017. New Zealand. Fireworks at the Kingspan Stadium. Celebrations will continue for a long, long time. This New Zealand team worthy winners, deserved champions after a classic final. Here we go. That's how you finish off a World Cup trophy presentation. New Zealand as only they can. Well, it's been a brilliant tournament in Ireland and Northern Ireland, Belfast and Dublin, equally playing their part and contributing to a fantastic spectacle. Sue, have you enjoyed the tournament overall?
What a tournament it's been, and what a fitting final, a classic game of rugby that will go down in history. Brilliant from both teams, but in the end even more brilliant from New Zealand. Yes, I've enjoyed the tournament, it's been absolutely outstanding.
Well, you look at England, they will come again, I'm sure. France, we've just said, the best side that we have seen in quite some time to come out of Les Bleus. You have Australia, also a growing force, and what about the United States of America? Plenty of coming teams in the women's international 15s game, and I think that more than anything is something to take from this 2017 World Cup. But no doubt about the best side in it. New Zealand, the Black Ferns, champions for 2017. England saying goodbye to their supporters, and thank you as well. Heartbreak for them. It might take a long time to get over it, but they will, and they will be back stronger. Maybe some retirements as well. We're thinking of Rochelle Clark with 129 international caps. Maybe she might decide to call it a day.
I'm not sure. She'll probably carry on playing until they put a hook on the pitch and haul her off. She loves the game so much. But look at these celebrations. What a feeling for New Zealand.
Off to celebrate with the fans, Carla Hohepa. She made a massive impact coming off the bench, and England just going into applauding all the supporters that made the trip over. So, what a final we've had, a final for the ages. A reminder, England 32, New Zealand 41, a fantastic tournament, a brilliant final, and New Zealand worthy champions at the World Cup in 2017. Thanks for all your support. Hope you enjoyed it. It's goodbye from us.